The growl of a chainsaw at 6:17 a.m. isn't how normal people wake up. But in Oakwood Grove, the HOA's little kingdom of beige houses and whispered judgments, it was just another power move. I shot out of bed, bare feet slapping the hardwood, because that sound was chewing through my backyard like it owed them money. And there she was, Victoria Langford, HOA president, clipboard in one hand, iced latte in the other, directing two guys in reflective vests like she was filming a Home Depot commercial. "Victoria!" I yelled, storming across the dew-soaked grass in nothing but pajama pants. "What the actual hell?" She turned, sunglasses sliding down her nose just enough to reveal the practiced pity in her eyes. The kind of look people give you when they've already decided you're the problem. "Marcus Hale," she said, voice syrupy sweet, like she was announcing a bake sale winner. "Your privacy screen violates code 4.7c. Height limit is 8 feet. Yours is what? 12? 13? We gave you notice." I laughed. The bitter kind that starts in your gut. "Notice? You stuck a yellow slip in my mailbox 2 weeks ago between my electric bill and a coupon for carpet cleaning. You walk your yappy little dog past my house every single morning. Victoria. You couldn't knock?" One of the workers yanked a massive section of my 12-foot bamboo screen, the one I'd babied for 4 years. The one that kept her prying eyes off my deck, my grill, my life, and dragged it across the lawn like roadkill. Victoria didn't even flinch. "Rules are rules. Marcus." The board voted. "We're just protecting property values." I stood there in the wreckage, bamboo leaves scattered like green confetti from a funeral. And something inside me clicked. Not rage. Clarity. The kind that makes you dangerous. That night I sat on my deck, now completely exposed to the street, the clubhouse, and every nosy neighbor who'd ever side-eyed me for not joining the annual block party, and I smiled for the first time in months. Because I'd been quiet for 2 years. I'd let them call me that weird tech guy who never comes out, let the rumors spread that I was antisocial. Maybe even troubled, after I turned down their little wine and wine committee. I'd smiled through the fines for my aggressive mailbox color, it was navy, not black, and the passive-aggressive notes about my unmowed lawn, it was 0.2 inches over regulation. But this was personal. I opened my laptop and started reading. Not HOA bylaws. Real ones. County ordinances. Zoning codes. Turns out, if you set a decorative privacy structure 3 feet inside your property line and don't block the sidewalk, you can build a damn fortress. So I did. I didn't hire some weekend warrior with a Home Depot card. I brought in a crew that built soundstages for Hollywood. Make it 12 feet, I told them. Smooth as a tombstone on the outside. Cedar on the inside so it feels like a spa. And make it look expensive. They grinned like they'd been waiting for this job their whole lives. By day 3, the footings were poured. Victoria showed up in her golf cart, pastel cardigan flapping like a surrender flag. "Marcus," she called over the mixer truck noise. "What on God's green earth is this?" I wiped concrete dust off my hands and held up the blueprints. Privacy feature. Victoria. Fully permitted. City stamped it yesterday. Unlike your little hedgectomy, this one's legal. Her face did something beautiful, lips pursed so tight they disappeared. Cheeks flushing the color of cheap rose. This is a monstrosity. It's going to tank the whole street's curb appeal. The board will never. Never what? I cut in, smiling the way you do when you've got the receipts. Approve it? They don't get to. City does. And I've got the paperwork right here if you want to read it. Slowly. Out loud. She snatched the folder. Flipped through it like it was covered in anthrax. Then shoved it back at me. You think you're clever. No, I said. I think I'm done being polite. The wall went up faster than gossip in a cul-de-sac. By Friday it was 12 feet of sleek gunmetal gray concrete on the street side. Warm cedar planks on mine. I added solar motion lights that only pointed down, because I'm not a monster, and a discrete camera system that fed straight to the cloud. The neighborhood lost its collective mind. Cars slowed to a crawl. Karen-adjacent housewives clutched their Stanley cups and whispered. One guy actually gave me a thumbs up from his Tesla. Progress. Victoria wasn't done. Though. Oh no. That Sunday a certified letter showed up. $4,200 fine for unauthorized visual obstruction, nuisance lighting, and failure to submit plans to the Architectural Review Committee. I took it straight to my neighbor. Elaine, retired building inspector. Chain smoker. And the only person on the block who'd ever told Victoria to shove her clipboard where the sun doesn't shine. Elaine read it. Exhaled a cloud of Marlboro smoke. And laughed until she coughed. This is adorable. They're citing code sections that don't even exist anymore. And retroactive approval? That's cute. Illegal. But cute. We spent the next week building a case. Not with rage. With paperwork. The kind that makes bureaucrats sweat. The board meeting was on a Thursday. The community center smelled like burnt coffee in desperation. 37 people showed up, more than had ever come to complain about the pool temperature. Victoria sat at the head table in a white blouse with little embroidered sailboats. Looking like she just stepped off a yacht that was about to hit an iceberg. When public comment opened, I stood. The room got quiet the way it does when everyone knows something's about to pop. I'm here about the fine on my property, I said. Sunday morning. And about the 2 board members who decided to conduct an after-hours inspection on my wall at 2:14 a.m. Last Tuesday. I dropped a stack of 8x10s on the table, crystal clear night vision stills of Victoria and her lapdog treasurer. Derek. Crouched behind my wall with flashlights and what looked suspiciously like a bag of something. Victoria's smile froze. That was a safety check. The wall is a hazard. Really? I slid another paper across. Because the city zoning office says they never received any safety complaint from the HOA. In fact, they've got no record of you filing anything. So either you're lying, or you're just really bad at your hobby. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Elaine stood next. I've reviewed the fine. It's fraudulent on 6 different counts. I'd be happy to read them all. Takes about 12 minutes. Victoria stood so fast her chair scraped like nails on a chalkboard. This is harassment. We're trying to maintain standards. Standards? I laughed. Low and mean. Like the $87,000 that disappeared into your sister's consulting firm last year? The one that did exactly 0 hours of work for the HOA? Or the fake violation notices you've been sending to anyone who ever questioned a fee? The room went dead silent. Then someone in the back, old Mr. Alvarez, who never says anything, stood up. Wait. My wife got one of those last month. Said we owed $900 for excessive holiday lights. We don't even have holiday lights. That was the match. I'd spent weeks quietly collecting public records requests, security footage from 3 different neighbors, bank statements Elaine had helped decode. Turns out Victoria hadn't just been a garden variety Karen. She'd been running a little extortion racket, fake fines, backroom contracts to relatives. even planting evidence of code violations when people got too mouthy. The best part? The night they'd snuck onto my property. They hadn't just been looking. They'd been trying to wedge a small magnetic box behind my irrigation valve. Inside was a crumpled rag soaked in something that tested positive for mineral spirits and a trace of diesel. The kind of thing that makes insurance investigators very interested. I played the video on the big screen. No sound. Just Victoria in her black yoga pants, crouched like a raccoon in the trash, while Derek kept lookout. The room watched in stunned silence as she looked straight into my camera for half a second, long enough for everyone to see her face. Victoria's mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. That's doctored. Tell that to the police, I said. They're outside. 2 officers walked in right on cue. Not dramatic. Just 2 guys in uniform who looked like they'd rather be anywhere else. Victoria's face went the color of old cottage cheese. She tried the tears, classic move, but even her own board members were already sliding their chairs away from her like she had cooties. The arrests came fast after that. Victoria first. Then Derek. Then the treasurer who'd been signing the checks. The local news picked it up by morning: suburban HOA president arrested in botched arson plot. The headline writers had a field day. 6 weeks later we held a special election. I didn't even run for president. I didn't need to. The new board, me as treasurer. Elaine as president. A whole crew of regular people who were tired of living under a pastel dictatorship swept every seat. We froze the slush fund. Opened the books. Found another $214,000 in administrative expenses that somehow all traced back to Victoria's extended family. The first thing we did was vote to repeal the 8-foot fence rule. The second was to send every homeowner who'd been hit with a bogus fine a refund check. Mine came with a little note from the new board: thanks for the wall. It's a community landmark now. I still sit on my deck most evenings. The wall's still there, 12 feet of beautiful, legal, middle finger concrete. Kids ride their bikes past it and wave. Old ladies take selfies in front of it. Someone even started calling it the hail barrier. I pretend to hate the nickname. But every time I look at it, I remember the morning the chainsaws woke me up. I remember the look on Victoria's face when she realized the quiet guy she'd spent 2 years bullying had been keeping score the whole time. And I smile. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't loud. It's patient. It's legal. And it's 12 feet tall. Now here's the question I want you to answer in the comments. And I want you to be honest. Was I the villain for building that wall, or was the real crime letting people like Victoria Langford think they could keep getting away with it? Drop your verdict below. Team Wall or Team HOA? I'm reading every single one.